Welcome, one and all, to the following segment of enjoyment and an escape from reality. But beware, the show you are about to bear witness to will not hold back when it comes to spoilers, language, and things not appropriate for work or children. If you continue on, we hope that you laugh at the banter, that you are thrilled by the topic of discussion, and marvel at the host's dedication to their craft, because you can only get that type of treatment here at Monster Madness. You have been warned.
You know the story of how I was rounded up and drowned in Nellis Falls? Well, on the anniversary of my death, the local kids, they dare each other to spend the night here at our old farmhouse. This year, I'm going to reappear.
Hi, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Monster Madness, a podcast dedicated to all sorts of creatures, features, and beyond. I'm Erica, and joined with me is a man who I would totally do a serial killer mockumentary with, my faithful co-host, Matthew. Hi, Matt.
Who's the murderer here? Me or you?
No, I said we would do a mockumentary. Like, maybe I would be the interviewer, and you would be behind the camera, or I'd be the camera holder, because you're actually really good at interviews. So.
I have a face made for radio.
You do. But also, you got that final girl mentality. You would totally win in the end.
I feel like if I was faced with murderous adversity, I would fail miserably.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Well, I hope you don't have to figure that out.
Me too. Well, maybe not. Some days I kind of wish the end was near.
Anyway, you can find Monster Madness on all your favorite podcasting platforms, social media sites, and things of that nature. Matt does stream video games and drum sessions from time to time, so you can check that out on our Twitch channel. If you'd like to support this show, you can do so in many different ways, such as Patreon, buying merch, or donating to the show, or just simply leaving a review on your favorite podcasting provider. Those 5 stars go a long way, and if you decide to write something, we will read it on the show. All links for the aforementioned things will be posted in our show notes. Matt, you got anything? Nothing? Anything exciting? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to chit-chat about before we get into the movie?
Not really. Thanks to everyone that listened to the Joe interview. Apparently we're going to go ghost hunting.
That's exciting. I loved that interview.
So pumped about that.
I will tell you, quite honestly, I forgot that I was supposed to be editing it, and I was just listening to it because I was so engrossed. I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta go back and, like, maybe take out an or two, or, like, some barely any dead space. But you guys were just, like, really vibing off each other. I loved it. It was such a good show.
It was awesome. I openly have a massive crush on that man. Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Index Case this week. So.
Whew! Man. Yeah. Did you listen to, and I'm specifically not saying the name of the album on purpose right now, but not the white covered one, the one that has Listen on it and when Dreams Bleed, the one after that has like the greenish cover. Did you listen to that one at all?
I think so. I know I definitely listened to the 2005 album. I don't know if I listened to the 2010.
So the 2010 one, take a stab at how to say that. So keep in mind, he's from Iowa. He's kind of into ghost hunting. Serial killer.
Well, no, I know the Geen.
It's Augusta Geen. Ed Gein's mom.
Geen?
Yeah. It took me fucking 8 years to figure that out. And then I was like, what the like, why are you guys telling me this now?
Oh, we talked about this album before.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
Augusta Geen, yeah.
Yep, that's that band.
Well, you know what? It tracks with what we're talking about, serial killers. So, good job.
Holy shit, I'm so fucking good at this.
I found the soundbite. I'm just so fucking good. Well, anyway, this week on Monster Madness, we're covering the 2006's Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
So you mentioned most of the guys in your line of work today are hacks.
I'm not talking about the guys that really worked hard, like Jay, Fred, Mike. There weren't nobody like them in the early years. We just hit hard, wiped everybody out, and disappeared as soon as we could without ever giving a thought to coming back. Those boys lifted it to a whole other level. They made an art form of it, turned themselves into legends. by returning like a curse over and over again. That was a radical change in philosophy. Changed the whole business.
The business of supernatural killing sprees.
She's not exactly on board yet with the whole why we do what we do thing.
No, young lady, about the business of fear. Every culture, every civilization from the dawn of man has had its monsters. For good to be pitted against evil, you have to have evil, don't you?
Behind the Mask is rated R, has a runtime of 1 hour and 32 minutes. It filmed from November 4th, 2004 to December 3rd, 2004. It was released in Canada at the Fantasia Film Festival on July 8th, 2006, and in the US October 13th, 2006 at the Scream Fest Film Festival. It was produced by Glen Echo Entertainment and Code Entertainment. It was distributed by Anchor Bay Entertainment, Gather Films, and Stars. Directed by Scott Glosserman, written by Scott as well as David J. Stevie. It stars Nathan Basil, Angela Goethals, Robert Englund, Scott Wilson, Zelda Rubinstein, who doesn't fucking love Zelda Rubinstein's voice? I fucking love that shit so much. And I found out while watching this movie that she did the voice intro for Scariest Places on Earth, if you remember that show.
Huh. I mean, I could see it, but I did not know that.
Yeah. Bridget Newton, Kate Miner, Ben Pace, Britton Spellings, Hart Turner, Chrissy Carlson, to name a few. There's only one tagline for this movie, and it is Jason, Freddy, Myers. We all need someone to look up to. I like it.
Simple.
To the point.
Plays into the whole thing, too.
Yeah. No complaints. No notes.
No, yeah.
What's the budget, Matthew?
It took me for fucking ever to find this, just so you know.
3 minutes?
No. Like, usually it's just on the Wikipedia. It wasn't mentioned anywhere. I had to do some medium Googling to find this.
Oh.
$75,000.
Okay.
So inflate it, because it's
Not bad.
2006, so not too long ago, but $117,241 and 14 cents.
Hey-o.
Now for the sad part, it only made $69,000.
Oh, it didn't even break
It
even.
didn't. Which is kind of a shock, because they've been talking about making a sequel to this forever, and they're supposed to be. But how do you make a sequel? Like, you can make a sequel, you can fucking do whatever, but it just seems like it's going to be an odd.
A great idea. It just popped into my brain. Fucking contact me, Scott Glosserman, or whatever your fucking name is. Since, obviously he had the mockumentary back when, that was like a thing, found footage, whatever. Now in 2024, what's the fucking popular thing to do? TikTok, vlog,
Anal?
all this.
Oh.
There's that. He could literally just document himself.
Yeah, and just put it on TikTok and no one believes that it's real.
Exactly. Scott, reach out.
Yep. We could go in this together.
Seriously, we're making moves left, right, and center with this show. We might as well fucking start producing movies.
Yeah, we do a Kickstarter to fund it. Yeah, we'll be good.
Yeah, we're good. All right, so let's get to the plot. I wonder how hard it would be to contact Scott Glosserman.
Probably not hard. Well, you're reading. I'll find his contact information.
Okay. It's probably going to be an extremely short plot reading via the Wikipedia.
Oh, sorry, real quick. There apparently in 2012 a sequel did come out. They're talking about making a third one.
Pardon?
2012, Before the Mask, The Return of Leslie Vernon. Or did it never actually get made? Is the next thing. But there's a date on it. Initial release 2012. Before the Mask, Return of Leslie Vernon.
Well, excuse the fuck out of me.
Yeah, you keep reading. I gotta find this guy's home address.
The film is shot as a documentary set in a world where the killers depicted in famous slasher films are historical figures. A journalist named Taylor Gentry and her two cameramen, Doug and Todd, document Leslie Vernon as he prepares to join the ranks of the other slasher villains. Leslie claims to be a boy from a local urban legend who supposedly became possessed and killed his family before being killed by the townsfolk. But having in fact survived the attack, he walks Taylor and her crew through his plans but refuses to truly explain his motives. Did you find any info?
No, if you look in like actual movie database, it doesn't show up.
Maybe they were planning to, but it just never came to fruition.
Well, that would make sense because I'd heard about it over the years because we did cover this on Podcast Terror 5,700 beers ago. And I could have swore even at that time there was rumblings of it being another one happening. Oh, here. Reddit thing from a month ago. Dated 2024 when Googled before the mask. Got a release date link pictured. Movie's been in development hell for eons, contributed to its crowdfunding campaign more than a decade. So there was crowdfunding for the sequel, and it's never been made.
Oh, I would be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I've done Kickstarters and I never got shit, or it took 14 years, and then I was so over it by that time.
Wasn't it like a video game or something that you
Yeah.
helped kickstart, and it took years?
Yeah, I was an intern when I kickstarted it, and we were living in this house when I got it. So that's a good 14 years, 12, 14. Nope.
Oh yeah, you
12
weren't
years?
exaggerating. You weren't exaggerating that time.
No, yeah.
Wow. Anyway, Leslie plans to orchestrate a killing spree at his alleged family home, a rundown farm in the woods. At the farm, he plans to slaughter a number of teenagers before being confronted by his chosen virginal survivor girl, a local 17-year-old high school student named Kelly Curtis. In addition to a strict training regimen and learning theater techniques to create the proper atmosphere, he has rigged the farm to be in his favor, sealing off exits within the house, mapping the routes his victims will take, rigging the electrical system to fail, and tampering with potential weapons in the barn. Leslie also discusses the bizarre behavior of people in such circumstances, such as herding together without really protecting themselves, tripping on level and stable ground, and attempting to hide in obvious dangerous locations. During the documentary shoot, Leslie introduces Taylor to her crew to his mentor Eugene, who vaguely elaborates on the motives of the killers like himself, for them to be a sacrifice by acting as evil to counter and even bring out the good within the world. Eugene's wife offhandedly suggests killing the local librarian, Mrs. Collinwood, as a stinger kill in order to draw Kelly in, which he does after Eugene agrees that it's a good idea. However, Leslie claims to be Leslie Vernon. Avenging his death is proven false when a psychiatrist, Doc Halloran, interrupts Taylor and her crew, revealing that Leslie is in fact an ordinary, mentally unstable man named Leslie Mancuso, whom Halloran treated in Reno, Nevada. Taylor confronts Leslie about Halloran's allegations, and Leslie becomes aggressive with her. Taylor contemplates ending the documentary, but reconciles with Leslie and chooses to continue filming. Taylor and her crew continue to film Leslie's meticulous preparations for his killing spree. I do love his mentor, Eugene, quite a bit, being just fucking in a sensory deprivation tank for 3 days.
It's fucking weird.
Would you ever do one of them?
I have.
You've done a sensory... All right, continue.
I didn't do like a pod. It was a big room and it had the ability to have like lights on. So you could like, there was levels where you would get in and you could turn the lights off, and then there was star lights on the ceiling. You could eventually turn those off if you wanted to or not. But it was like a fucking 8x8 room. So like I could stretch out and you just kind of like float around.
Oh, is it one with like the water?
Yeah, there's a place in Appleton called Float Light that I went to.
And did you gain anything from that? Any type of solace?
No, I'd like to do it again. I was too worried about freaking out in the dark.
Yeah.
Because it gets really like disorienting as to where the door is and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I think now I'd be in a better position to do that and like be able to like let go.
Yeah. I think the first one's like just like a trial run.
Yeah.
I would totally do that.
I would suggest it. It's fun.
Just lock me in a room for silence. It'd be great. Though Taylor and her crew possess enthusiasm for Leslie's creativity, their consciences catch up with them on the night of the murders. They beg Leslie to call off his killing spree, but Leslie is adamant, believing that his survivor girl will define herself by facing him. He implores and invites the crew to leave, but they ultimately decide to stop Leslie. At this point in the film's... What the fuck does that word?
Where are we?
It's like the third paragraph from the bottom. It's like a mise en scene. It's like some French thing. At this point, the film's
mise en scène. Play
Look at you.
Well, I clicked on it to get the fucking the explanation.
Hold on, I'm gonna start the sentence and then you can just say the word. You ready?
And that's assuming that I'm saying it right, but yes.
At this point, the film's
Mise en scène.
shifts from documentary mode to a standard horror film presentation. Taylor attempts to warn and rally the remaining teens together to fight Leslie, attempting to use the knowledge they have against Leslie, but Leslie's preparations appear to have expected the crew remaining. The group looks to Kelly, who is revealed to be not a virgin, very much not a virgin, 17-year-old fucking reverse cowgirling in an abandoned house.
And sometimes you got to do it.
Do you, though?
Well, if you're into it.
That's fair.
We don't kink shame here.
Is that a kink? Would you consider that a kink?
No, not at all. But
That's
just encompassing everything, getting it out of the way now.
Oh, we can't encompass everything.
Everything within reason that isn't super weird
Or
disgusting
illegal.
or illegal. Yeah, there's that.
We have to make sure we don't get canceled.
Yeah.
We're about to
Get canceled before we ever start.
I know. We're about to. I feel it. We're on the cusp. They look to Kelly for leadership, but she unexpectedly dies when trying to escape. Taylor struggles to keep the teenagers from bumbling through Leslie's preordained schedule, with Todd sacrificing himself by drawing Leslie away from the house. One of the few disruptions that Leslie mentioned as being potentially ruinous to his plan. Taylor quickly realizes that as a virgin herself, she was Leslie's intended survivor girl all along. Ba-da-da. Leslie continues picking off the group one by one until only Taylor remains. She faces Leslie and defeats him in the exact manner he had laid out for her, crushing Leslie's head in the apple press. Then burns down the shed in which he was defeated, apparently killing him. Outside, she finds Doug and Doc Halloran, who have both survived their encounters with Leslie. Over the final credits, security camera footage reveals Leslie's charred body sitting up from an autopsy table, still alive.
So, a couple things.
Okay.
The French word that you made me say means to place on stage. So it's a term in filmmaking, means everything that is in front of the camera.
Oh, okay.
So
we're learning camera moves now.
Yes. I also found that the Kickstarter for Before the Mask was unsuccessful, and it just kind of fucking fell apart after that.
Okay, so then no money was spent. Like, everybody got their money back.
Yep. Scott Glosserman, I could contact him if I wanted to have a Twitter account.
We have a Twitter account for Monster Madness.
Oh, that's fine. He's on Twitter. Just fucking message him.
I'm going to shoot him a DM. I really am. Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in probably since it came out. I think I only saw it once and I enjoyed it then. It's so much more enjoyable as an adult now and having seen so many more movies. And like, it's kind of like a Where's Waldo of what's a reference to another horror movie. There's so many in here, and the minutiae, we'll dive into those in a sec. Any thoughts you'd like to share about the movie?
Not really. I mean, I don't remember what I didn't like about it the first time around. I think maybe it was just like I expected one thing and got another. I don't know.
That happens. I thought it probably some of my favorite things was just kind of the behind the scenes of just like his preparation.
Yep.
Like him just being completely like exacerbated and exhausted because he's like you have no idea how much cardio you have to do to make it look like you're just fucking walking. Like shit is so funny, and just it makes you look at horror movies a little differently, because it's like, okay, if in the realm of if Jason, Freddy, and Michael are real, imagine them scurrying around during the daytime when nobody's noticing and like nailing a window shut. But yeah, I just really love the idea of these horror movies where you think of like Jason like skulking in the woods and, hiding an arrow underneath a bed to stab through someone's neck or some shit like that. I think that's hilarious. And that's how I kind of view the movies now that I'm watching. It's enjoyable. Oh, speaking of which, remember that poster that you and Alyssa gave me, that scratch off, the 100 horror movies? Whipped it out because I found it, because it kind of just got like put away. And I'm starting it this weekend. I'm very excited.
Fuck yeah. Ours is on the wall in the basement. I'm sure we've watched a bunch and not scratched them off because it became a pain in the ass to like take it off the wall, take it out the frame.
I'm going to wait until we're done scratching them all off to
Yeah. I mean, that's the smart thing to do.
I mean, yours isn't not a smart way. It's just
It's a weird size, so it's an ill-fitting frame. So that's another issue that I'll deal with eventually.
There you go. I do have
Yeah.
to roll it out and flatten it so that it's easier to. Anyway. So now we're going to go to some monster minutiae, which has probably some of my favorite minutiae because they're all pretty enjoyable. At the beginning, Taylor is standing in front of the Red Rabbit pub. This is a reference to the Red Rabbit matchbook found by Dr. Loomis in Halloween 1978. The first time Taylor interviews Eugene and his wife, a lament configuration puzzle box from Hellraiser 1987 can be seen sitting on the table. This is Zelda Rubinstein's last movie. R.I.P. She died, I think, like 2 years later, 3 years
Rip
later.
in peace.
When Leslie and the graduate students are scoping out potential victims at the school, he makes eye contact with a young woman. As this happens, 3 girls can be spotted playing jump rope in the background. This is a reference to A Nightmare on Elm Street, the film franchise. When Leslie first takes Taylor and her crew to meet Eugene and his wife, the car parked in Eugene's driveway is the same color, make, and model as the car seen in director Sam Raimi's movies, which I'm assuming they mean the Evil Dead movies. Several character names are referenced to classic horror films in this one. For instance, Doc Halloran is a mashup of Danny Torrance's nickname Doc in The Shining and Dick Halloran from the same movie. And Jamie being a reference to Jamie Lee Curtis, who was a final girl in several slasher films, such as Halloween and Prom Night. Doc Halloran's wardrobe and beard is nearly identical to that of Donald Pleasant's Dr. Loomis from Halloween. Leslie's real surname is exposed to be Mancuso. Frank Mancuso Jr. was the producer of most of the Friday the 13th films. Zelda Rubinstein used her signature voice from Poltergeist from 1982 while telling the legend of Leslie Vernon to the girl in the library.
So I have a question about that. It says she used her signature voice. That's her fucking voice. Did they expect her to use a different voice?
I feel like she has yes, that's her voice. Her voice is a certain...
Sure, she hams it up a little bit. I'm just being an asshole.
Oh, no, I know. But I think the cadence, it's like the same of how she talks when she is doing the intro to Scariest Places on Earth. Like, welcome to a penitentiary. Like, she's not going to talk like that. She's probably like, what the fuck's up?
Was I just turned on a pornography? Why was that so seductive from you?
That's how she sounds.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the raspiness that takes the boner out of it.
And hopefully the fact that it's coming out of my mouth.
I mean, calm down. You're basically a brother to me.
Oh, thanks, broski. I truly love that. That's like when I wish my dad a happy Mother's Day. I love that. always refer to me as your brother. I love that so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
We got an AHAM!
Wow, we got an AHAM! What's an AHAM?
It's a guy. It's a guy like the guy back there. Get in. We got to tell Eugene.
When Leslie is applying his makeup while being interviewed about his targets, the song playing in the background is the same as heard at the end of The Shining when Jack Torrance appears in the photo. The song is Midnight, the Stars and You, sung by the Al Bowley with the Ray Noble Orchestra from 1934. When Leslie first shows the crew his home, he introduces his 2 pet turtles as Church and Zoe. These are the names of the resurrected pets from the Pet Sematary film franchise. I can't speak tonight. Church being the cat from Pet Sematary and Zoe being the dog from Pet Sematary 2. The character Kelly Curtis is a reference to the Scream Queen Jamie Lee Curtis, who happens to have a sister named Kelly Curtis. When Taylor is interviewing Leslie in the shed before the night before the murders take place, her mittens have the same moose pattern as Kevin McAllister's hat in Home Alone. That's a weird one. But there it is. I think that might have just been an accident. Not intentionally like, let's have all these horror Easter eggs, but then I really fucking love Home Alone. Let's put an obscure one in. Moose.
I mean, add it to your fucking Twitter DM when you message them.
Fair. The town in which the movie is set, Glen Echo. I keep wanting to say Glen Coco from Mean Girls. Like, you go, Glen Coco. Glen Echo is based on a real neighborhood in Montgomery County, Maryland, near where writer and director Scott Glosserman grew up. a notable feature of the area being a turn-of-the-century amusement park that stood mostly abandoned for several decades as it deteriorated and earned a fitting haunted reputation among locals. The carousel for which the park is known is referenced in Glen Echo Entertainment's logo. Chrissy Carlson is known in horror and mystery productions. She was in a Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode. Wow, a whole episode. The same year, she became a regular on the soap opera Sunset Beach and major mystery storylines such as Cursed Jewelry and Island Murders. She was in Devil in the Flesh alongside Scream Queen Rose McGowan. Would we consider Rose McGowan a Scream Queen?
No.
She died in Scream.
Mm-hmm. And wasn't she in one of them?
Yeah, because she died in the very first one.
Hardly a queen.
She was in Charmed, but that's like a very PG, Halloween-y, witchy show. I don't think she's been in much else horror movie-wise. I think that's a stretch there, IMDb, whatever you are, IMDb.
Oh my God, have you seen her lately?
Yeah, she rough. But here's the thing. I give her kudos for waking up every day and fucking speaking her truth.
No, for sure.
She went through a lot of shit and you could see it on her face.
Yeah. She was in Planet Terror and Jawbreaker and Death
Oh,
Proof
yeah.
and
Yeah,
Grindhouse and Once Upon a Time and The Doom Generation and Encino Man.
But I wouldn't consider any of those like...
And Ready to Rumble. And Conan the Barbarian. I'm done now.
Conan the Barbarian?
2011, the remake.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm like, in the fucking 80s, was she like a kid? Like a fucking feral kid?
Maybe.
The movie contains a subtle reference to the Blair Witch Project. Glen Echo, Maryland is a real town in Montgomery County, Maryland. Seneca Creek State Park and the town of Burkittsville, the two main shooting locations for the Blair Witch Project, are also located in Montgomery County. Glen Echo is about a 1-hour drive from the town of Burkittsville and less than a half-hour drive from Seneca Creek State Park. This is one of my favorite ones, actually. Although it's never explicitly mentioned in the film, Eugene, Leslie's mentor, is intended to be an older version of Billy, the killer from Black Christmas from 1974. I loved that.
Huh. You don't say.
Yeah. I really did enjoy that one. I was like, that's creepy, and I really like that. Kane Hodder, which I was sitting with my girlfriend watching this, and she has no idea names. Hasn't seen most of the movies that I'm even talking about on this show. But like in the beginning, I was like, oh my fucking God, that's Kane Hodder. And she's just like staring at me. I'm like, Jason. And she's just like,
really likes tequila and PBR.
He likes PBR?
Yeah, and tequila.
Have you drank with him?
I've had PBR with him, yes. It was like at his table. But you got to keep in mind, we had Dennis Derek Herbert, who did the documentary on him on Podcast of Terror. So it was like, I had an in when I met him, and then that's really where it ended.
Was he nice?
Incredibly nice.
Well, there you go. That's all you can ask for when you meet your heroes.
Yeah. Yep. Did you know that he had to stop fake choking people because someone complained?
He was just choking them too good?
Well, he was never really like overtly aggressive from what I understand, but a buddy of mine was like, hey, he got me a little bit. And someone, I guess, threw a fit, so he can't fake choke you in pictures anymore.
Oh, in pictures.
Yeah, it was never like he just wouldn't like walk up to someone and like fucking choke you.
No, I meant like in the movies. I was like,
oh no. This is like in photo ops. He was like, if you find old ones, he's like got people by the throat.
Yeah, as he should. And I would still ask him to do it. I'd be like, look, I'm not going to sue.
Choke me, daddy.
Literally lift me in the air. I am so tiny. You are so large.
He was a big fucking dude.
Yeah. Kane Hodder, who played the guy we keep talking about, Kane Hodder, who played Jason Voorhees in 4 of the Friday the 13th / Jason movies, is seen walking into 1428 Elm Street. That is the address in which Nancy lived in Nightmare on Elm Street. There are 2 connections to Black Christmas in this film, although never stated directly like mentioned before. It was intended that Eugene is an older version of Billy from Black Christmas. When Leslie's real last name is revealed to be Mancuso, this could be a nod to Nick Mancuso, the uncredited actor who portrayed Billy in the original 1974 Black Christmas. And lastly, I know there was a lot of minutiae, so thank you for bearing with me. When explaining the plot in the library, Leslie is standing behind a textbook titled Combustion, a foreshadowing of his fate. Ba-da-da. And those, my friends, are the minutiae. I love that Billy one. Because honestly, Black Christmas, the 1974 one, legit still scares me.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it like once, and I remember being okay with it.
Here's the thing. The movies that scare me the most are the ones that could legitimately happen or unsettle me. Like for this podcast, I'll watch it one more time, but after that, I'll probably never watch it again. But When a Stranger Calls is the most terrifying movie I've ever seen in my fucking life. The original. Because
your phone just rings all the time and it's strangers?
Oh my God. Don't even get me started. I've been getting so many fucking spam calls, but I have to leave the fucking the robo thing off to the spam blocker off because like some of them are legit calls I need to take. It's so fucking frustrating. But it's just I'm going to creep myself out, but because I'm home alone currently with my 2 children upstairs sleeping, but just the whole notion of have you checked the children? Like fuck off, you crazy fuck. And just the fucking eyeball peeking through the cracks of shit. Like, I'm like looking down my fucking dark ass hallway right now and I don't like it. Like, I hate it. I'm putting the alarm on in my house right now.
I don't blame you. If anyone walked in this house, Barf would lose his fucking mind. No one's getting close without me finding out.
Home and armed. I hope that picked up on the podcast. But yeah, that's true too. You do have, do you have an alarm system on your house?
You can't get close to my house without a camera picking it up, though.
True. I knew that much.
Yeah.
I want more alarms on my house.
I've thought about it, but I've never felt unsafe out here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I also have guns, so
like readily and accessible.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't. You don't need to tell me. I'm just saying you can.
I was like, I could
roll
probably get if I they're not loaded. The ammo's in one spot and the gun is in a different. So depending on who you are and your stance on home safety, that's not the safest thing. You should have a gun loaded at all times. But
you're just gonna pistol whip the shit out of someone.
Did I ever tell you the story about the time in our old house that I heard a sound and I was really drunk and home alone and I started fucking SWAT teaming around my house with a gun? It wasn't loaded, but I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Honestly, the imagery that I have is you in like tighty whities, fucked up, and just being like,
basically,
except I
had
your
shorts
quarters. On. Doing Navy SEAL signs to no one.
Yep, just wicked.
It's like, have you ever seen that movie Saving Silverman?
Yeah, fuck yeah. We just talked about it not that long ago.
That's true. When they break into the house to kidnap Judith and they're fucking...
doing the same thing?
Yeah. I don't know the fucking Navy ones. I only know the Army ones. As he's eating spaghetti.
We're just talking about like Navy SEAL signs and then gesturing them on an audio podcast.
Listen, you can hear the air whipping.
That's true. It's the funniest to us.
Listen, I've always said that this show is mainly for me and you.
No, it really is.
It truly, truly is. I was telling, because my issue is I always am thinking 17,000 steps ahead for this show. Like I already have audio clips and stuff like that for other seasons where I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this for an intro in a season that's like 8 seasons away. I already in my brain am trying to figure out artwork for the next season, which I can reveal because it's no shock. It's When Animals Attack, and it's literally all animal attack movies, which I am fucking just about because literally the reason why I started this podcast, the first movie we watch, is the movie that I've been trying to get you to watch for almost 6 years. But I've been saving it for the right time, and that time is almost upon us. And I'm very excited.
Okay.
But you're not allowed to watch it before. You're gonna love it. You're gonna fucking love it. I feel fully confident that you're going to love this movie for numerous reasons.
Where did all the seasons in Airtable go? Oh, season
Oh, no,
ideas.
look.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made tabs. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you. I like to
Because
organize.
I'm not sure what movie you're talking about.
I hope it's the first one.
Jesus Christ, so many seasons.
I have a lot of ideas.
Oh, it's not the first one because I've seen the first one. It's the second
what's
one.
The first? What's the
Jaws.
first one? Oh, okay, yeah. I added it on there. I'm like, why don't I have fucking Jaws on there? The Edge.
That's what I'm saying. It's the second one.
I just recently put Jaws on there, actually, because I was like, in fucking underwater season, we can just watch Jaws too.
True.
Because everything is fucking sharks and underwater shit. Doesn't matter. I fucking can't wait to watch Deep Blue Sea with you. But The Edge, oh my God.
Oh my God.
I love that movie so fucking much and quote it maybe on a daily basis. And I just can't wait for you to fucking watch it. I'm so excited for that. That's literally what's keeping me going, I think.
Well, you heard it here first. After we watch The Edge, the show's done.
And you know, I would be content. I would be content. Anyway, next segment of the show, as per usual, the yay, nay, or slay. Obs for me, it's a yay. I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie a lot. I think it's hilarious. I really wish that they would do a sequel, and I am going to fucking DM Scott and be like, I have an idea for a sequel, and if you haven't thought about this, take the idea and run with it. Just shout out Monster Madness. Put someone in a shirt. Put someone in a Monster Madness shirt in your movie, and that's all I want.
Not a bad idea.
I know. I have them sometimes. But yeah, it's a big yay for me. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, all around great movie. You should watch it if you are into a legitimate humor horror film. This one is definitely top notch. It's not slapstick. It's not like slapstick humor. It's literally just genuine humor. It's that quote again of it's humor only really comes across the best is like if you think the person who's telling the quote unquote jokes believe it and are being serious. And this guy was like, no, I'm a serial killer. And the shit he was saying was actually fucking funny because of the circumstances. What did you think, Matt? What do you rate it for you after a second viewing?
Yeah, at this point, I'd give it a yay. Reiterate a lot of what you said in terms of it. You kind of have to go into it knowing what you're going to see or what you're watching, which I think I didn't understand the first time around. But it does, like you said, it makes you think more about how an actual horror movie or an actual slasher movie could be like carried out in reality and like what actually needs to happen for all these like wild fucking things to happen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny from that standpoint.
Love it. Last segment of the show, one of my favorites. Does it fuck? You know what? There's 100% going to be fucking awesome music playing over this right now because I need to dedicate time to find does it fuck music. It's going to be like hardcore like techno though.
Oh, music for it, not music that fucks. Okay, I got you. Use the German techno from Super Troopers.
Done. So I don't really have anything like tangible that fucks. Nothing really new and exciting, like clean product wise but today I took a really solid nap. I'm not a huge napper, but it was just everything was right. I was reading because I'm really big into reading right now. Those are from books, Matt. You read books, just in case you read.
Is that what those things are called?
Yep, those rectangle things. Yeah,
damn.
Not doors.
I thought they were called
weapons.
boobs.
Oh no, we hang out way too much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was reading and then I got a little sleepy, and then my cat laid in between my legs, and the breeze was coming in from the open window, and it was just sunny enough, but just shady enough, and I was on the most comfortable couch in the world, and next thing I know, 2 hours went by, and it took 3 alarms to wake me up. I was fucking...
Oh, God.
I had such a wild dream. You know, that fucks. Vivid dreams. I think people have told me numerous times that I have the most vivid dreams ever. I had a dream that Angel Reese, who, if you follow WNBA at all, or, women's college basketball. She is a very popular basketball player. I forget who she plays for in the WNBA because everybody just knows Caitlin Clark right now, who's at Indiana Fever right now. Angel Reese, she was
Chicago Sky.
Thank you. I knew it wasn't LA Sparks. I was like, fuck, I could see the uniform, Chicago Sky. And it wasn't the Aces. So in my dream, her name was like Rangel East. I don't know why. She was like at a car dealership, and then she got kidnapped, and I witnessed it, and nobody would believe me. And I'm like trying to fucking find cops and stuff like that. And it was just this crazy fucking weird ass dream. Don't eat egg salad on sourdough before you fucking take a nap because you're going to have a fucking wild dream. And yeah, that's all I remember at this point, but it was fucking crazy. So vivid dreams, they fuck, naps fuck, gardening fucks. I've been doing a lot of that recently, growing some tomatoes and some peppers and green beanies, cucumbers hopefully, and some herbs. Yeah. I really hate when people say herbs.
Why? They're herbs.
They're not. They're herbs.
I know.
The H is silent. The H is silent. Matt, you got any fuckable items?
Moderately fuckable. The mango Baja spicy Doritos.
Okay.
Like, they're fine. They're not trash. I'll finish them. 100% things that don't fuck. Sour Patch Kid Oreos. Awful.
Ugh.
Truly fucking awful. The cookie itself wasn't bad, but the cream, it was like sour cream. So, yeah, it was bad. Alyssa ate one, and she goes, "You take those with you this weekend. I never want them back in this house." And Sour Patch Kids are her favorite candy.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like her bread and butter, candy-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Efficient electricians, they fuck. They help so your house doesn't burn down. And make sure that, your circuit panel isn't overboarded. And they help label all your shit so now you know where everything is so you could just flick it on and off. Oh, you know what else fucks? And I know I talk about Aldi all the time, but that place is like a fucking gem. They had, and I literally grabbed them on the way out to the checkout. They had them very strategically placed. This probably medium-sized bag of like churro chips of some sort. I'm not a huge churro person. The last time I had churro was probably when I was 10 at a fair. I opened the bag, I ate one, and it is totally like the Pringles slogan. Once you pop, you can't stop. I didn't even recognize myself because I just could not stop eating
I don't know
them.
where the churros ended and I began.
Seriously, the bag is so small, you need to buy 15 of them. I was at Aldi this past weekend. I couldn't even look at them because I'm trying to not be a piece of shit right now.
If you ever see the Old El Paso Fiesta Twists, those are pretty good. They have churro. And then I also just saw that Old El Paso has a cinnamon churro cornbread mix. Get inside my body.
God, the snacks at Aldi are top tier. Like, they have a spicy fried pickle chip that is fucking out of this world. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I turned 33 and I'm just like obsessed with pickle flavored things, which is really rich considering the turns my life has taken. But it's like I'm dipping dill pickles in dill dip and I'm like, I need more.
I just started eating hot dogs 2 at a time.
What's the fucking... Oh, fuck. I wish I knew the name of that fucking Nathan's hot dog winner.
Oh, Kobayashi.
Yeah, I'm fucking Kobayashi in that shit. Oh, fuck. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of Monster Madness. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please watch Behind the Mask as we both enjoyed it, and we think that you will too. Next time, we are going to be talking the iconic 2009 film. I think it's 2009. Am I making
Mhm.
that up? 2009's Zombieland, starring the fucking worst person ever, Jesse Eisenberg, and the best person, Woody Harrelson. So that kind of cancels each other out. But you know how I feel about Jesse Eisenberg. Fucking trash. Did you know that his sister was the girl in those Pepsi commercials? That curly haired girl with the dimple?
Didn't know.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no.
his little sister. And creepily enough, she looks exactly the fucking same. Anyway, we don't have to get into it. But yeah, we're going to cover Zombieland next time, so watch that to get yourself prepared. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. Please reach out. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, bye.
Bye.
You have no idea how much cardio I have to do. It's ridiculous.
Why so much?
Well, you gotta be able to run like a freaking gazelle without getting winded. Plus, there's that whole thing of making it look like you're walking, and everybody else is running their asses off.
Right.
And I gotta stay with them.